Israel is in turmoil. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's decision to dismiss Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has ignited a firestorm of protest and plunged the nation into a deep political crisis. Gallant, a respected military figure, had publicly criticized the government's controversial judicial overhaul plan, warning it was tearing the nation apart. His dismissal, seen as a direct attack on dissent, has sent shockwaves through the country, with thousands taking to the streets in protest. The coming days and weeks will be critical in determining the fate of Israel's democracy and the future of Netanyahu's government. The streets of Israel have become a battleground, filled with the voices of a nation in turmoil. From Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, tens of thousands of Israelis have taken to the streets to voice their anger at the dismissal of Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. The protests have grown in size and intensity, reflecting the deep-seated frustrations of the people. Demonstrators waving Israeli flags and carrying signs denouncing Netanyahu's government have blocked highways and clashed with police. The scenes of chaos and confrontation have become a daily occurrence, capturing the world's attention. The protests have drawn Israelis from all walks of life, united in their opposition to what they see as an assault on their democracy. Young and old, secular and religious, all stand together in solidarity. Police have used water cannons, tear gas, and stun grenades to disperse crowds, but the government's attempts to quell the protests have failed. The resilience of the protesters has only grown stronger in the face of such measures. The protests are not just about Gallant's dismissal, they are about the future of Israel. The demonstrators are demanding a change, a new direction for their country, and they are determined to be heard. The dismissal of Yoav Gallant is the latest and most dramatic chapter in Benjamin Netanyahu's political career. Netanyahu, facing mounting legal troubles and a resurgent opposition, has sought to consolidate his grip on power by silencing dissent within his own party. This move is seen as a desperate attempt to maintain control amidst growing challenges. Netanyahu's legal battles have been a significant distraction, and his controversial policies have sparked widespread protests. By dismissing Gallant, he aims to project strength and unity within his ranks. Gallant's public criticism of the judicial overhaul plan made him a liability in Netanyahu's eyes. His outspoken stance threatened to undermine Netanyahu's agenda, making his removal almost inevitable. By dismissing Gallant, Netanyahu has sent a chilling message to anyone within his own ranks who dares to question his judgment. This action underscores the lengths to which Netanyahu is willing to go to suppress internal dissent. The move has backfired spectacularly, further isolating Netanyahu and galvanizing the opposition. The public outcry has been immense, with thousands taking to the streets in protest. The dismissal has exposed deep divisions within the ruling Likud party, with several senior figures publicly criticizing Netanyahu's actions. This internal strife could weaken the party's cohesion and effectiveness. The political fallout from Gallant's dismissal is only just beginning. Analysts predict that this event could have long-term implications for Netanyahu's leadership and the future of Israeli politics. The dismissal of Yoav Gallant has exposed the deep fault lines running through Israeli society. The protests engulfing the country are a reflection of the profound anxieties and divisions that have been simmering beneath the surface for years. At the heart of the crisis is a fundamental clash of values over the nature of Israeli democracy and the role of religion in public life. The dismissal of Gallant has exacerbated these divisions, pushing the country further apart at a time when unity and national cohesion are desperately needed. A Gallant's shadow, a divided government and a nation on edge. The specter of Yoav Gallant's dismissal hangs heavy over Israel. Within the halls of power, the cracks are impossible to ignore. The ruling coalition, already fragile before the crisis, is now riven by suspicion and distrust. The opposition, energized by the public outcry, has seized on the crisis, accusing Netanyahu of putting his personal interests above those of the nation. In cafes, on buses, and around family dinner tables, Israelis are engaged in heated debates about the future of their country. The nation finds itself at a crossroads, grappling with fundamental questions about its identity, its values, and its future direction. International tremors, global reactions, and regional stability. The shockwaves from Yoav Gallant's dismissal have reverberated far beyond Israel's borders. The United States, Israel's closest ally, has expressed deep concern over the situation. European allies have been more outspoken in their criticism of Netanyahu's government, urging him to reconsider the judicial overhaul plan. The regional implications of the crisis are equally troubling, with Israel's Arab neighbors watching the situation closely. The Palestinian Authority has condemned Gallant's dismissal as further proof of Israel's unwillingness to engage in meaningful peace negotiations. The long shadow of uncertainty, implications for Israeli politics. The dismissal of Yoav Gallant has cast a long shadow over Israeli politics, exposing the fragility of Israel's democracy and the deep divisions within its society. This event has not only shaken the political landscape but also highlighted the underlying tensions that have been simmering for years. Netanyahu's government, already weakened by internal divisions and facing mounting public pressure, is now in a precarious position. The internal strife within the ruling coalition has made it increasingly difficult for Netanyahu to maintain a unified front, further complicating his leadership. The ongoing protests show no signs of abating, and the opposition is emboldened, sensing an opportunity to force new elections. The public's dissatisfaction with the current administration has reached a boiling point, and the opposition is capitalizing on this momentum to push for change. The crisis has deepened the polarization within Israeli society, making it even more difficult to find common ground on critical issues. The divisions are not just political but also social, affecting everyday interactions and the overall cohesion of the community. The long-term implications of the crisis are significant, raising fundamental questions about the future direction of Israeli society and its democratic institutions. As the nation grapples with these challenges, the path forward remains uncertain and the stakes have never been higher. A crossroads for Israel, navigating a perilous future. Israel stands at a crossroads. The dismissal of Yoav Gallant has brought to the fore the profound challenges confronting the nation: a deepening political crisis, a fractured society, and an uncertain regional landscape. The decisions made in the coming weeks and months will determine the trajectory of the country for years to come. The protests that have engulfed Israel are a testament to the enduring strength of its democracy. The challenge for Israel's leaders is to channel this energy constructively, fostering dialogue and compromise. The world is watching. Israel has a unique responsibility to uphold the values of freedom, pluralism, and the rule of law. Thanks for watching. Please come again. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.